Hey everybody, today's episode is all about vinyl decals. So if you guys are interested in making some beautiful vinyl decals like the ones you see here, let's get right into it.
All right, so I have the first font on the screen, and before we go into how to make this decal, there are some tips that I want to give you guys and some important information that is going to be detrimental for making any type of cake topper or decals, any type of anything with some type of text, all right? Especially if you're going to be using like a script font. Now, as you can see on your screen, you've got a line here, and one here. That's not going to look good. So if I were to cut this right now in vinyl, I'm going to have a line right here, one here, one here. It's just not going to be it, okay? So the first thing that you're going to want to do, I'm going to show you two ways to get rid of this. One is a permanent way and one is a non-permanent way, all right? And I'll explain it when I'm explaining, well, as I'm explaining it. All right, so the first way would be you come down here to where it says combine, and you're going to click weld. Now, when you do that, as you can see on the screen, everything has gone away, all of those cuts, right? Now, once you do that with weld, it cannot be undone. Like, it's just, you can't do anything to it except like contour out the holes in the A and get rid of the circle. So this is done. One and done. That's it. All right. Now, if you did want to work on, let's say, a project like this in the future, let's say you're trying to make a cake topper or something like that, and you have a certain design, there is something that is pretty cool that they just came out with. I'm going to hit the undo button really quickly. All right, so we got back to where we were before. So once again, you're going to highlight it simply by clicking on it. Then you're going to come down to where we were before and combine, and you're going to hit unite. Now, once you do that, it does the same thing as weld, except as you can see here, it's still highlighted. I can literally come back in here and hit the undo unite. And guess what? Everything goes back to normal. So that's, for me, like if I'm creating a cake topper and maybe like, let's say I have like a balloon somewhere and somebody doesn't want it in that specific spot, they want it a little bit higher or somewhere else, I can always go back into my project and then click the undo unite and then move it around on my cake topper design however I choose. I'll be making a cake topper video pretty soon. Just, give me a little bit. I'm trying to get you guys easy projects first, okay? All right. So now that we have this design like that, there's one other trick I wanted to show you. So let's get into that video, into that portion of the video. All right. All right, now before I go even further, because I like to give you guys as many tips and as much info as I have in this brain. All right, so what we're gonna do is I'm gonna show you something that's kind of weird. I think this is a bug and I've reported it a couple of times in Design Space, but I haven't heard it, them changing this just yet, and it's been happening for a while now. All right, so let's say I were to go ahead and create an offset and I wanted to make it, you know what? Let's just do this the normal way. Let's do this again. So we're gonna go to offset. So it's gonna bring us to 0.025, right? So we're gonna go ahead and click apply. So I want you guys to keep this on in your brain, right? Now I'm going to duplicate the name. I'm going to go ahead and grab these two. I'm going to group them. And I'm just going to make it a little bit smaller, and I'm going to put it up here. All right. Now, I'm going to come over here, and I'm going to change the width of this to about 4. Okay. Now, I'm going to hit offset. And do you see? It's still at 0.25. Do you see how ginormous this offset is in comparison to this one? Do you see this? This is a huge difference. So I actually have to go back into one of my sticker videos that are on this, on my YouTube channel and talk about this, or maybe put it in a comment. I might even make just a similar video, but as you can see with your own eyes, this is definitely not the same offset that's up here as it is over here. So I would definitely recommend, if you're working with fonts or items like this, you're going to want to put it to a smaller size. Usually with name decals, you go by your width. So I usually go by like a 3. and then I go from there. All right, because otherwise, I mean, you guys just saw it, so we're gonna click on offset again. Look how big that is. Now we're gonna hit cancel. I'm gonna do this right on screen with you guys, and I'm not gonna change it. We're gonna bring it up to like about a 12, and then we're gonna do the same thing. Do you see the difference? That's weird, right? All right, so just be mindful of the size that you're using in Design Space, because this is, I guess Design Space is design spacing. Now, I will say this before I move into the next portion. I've been doing this type of stuff and working with my Cricut, making stickers and such for the last 4 years, and that is definitely new, the stuff with the offset. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna get our name. I'm gonna do it in about a 4. All right, because I like to be able to control the size of my offset a little bit better. I don't know, you can probably get used to it either way, but for me, this has just worked for me. All right, so another thing that has switched is before, when you used to go along this tab this way, it would automatically change it for you. I think that was a reason why a lot of people were struggling before. So it seems as if like now if you move it like here, once it comes up, it'll go down and it'll do that. So that's kind of cool. All right. So I don't want to be too long-winded today. So with this decal, I'm actually going to go about, I think I'm going to use 3 colors with this one. All right. I honestly do. I think I like my 3 colors. All right, I think we're gonna do like blue and white and maybe a darker blue. I'm gonna use different types of vinyl. All right, so now that we've got our first offset on there, right? I don't really like that line here in the middle. So one of the things I'm gonna show you is we're gonna go ahead and grab a shape. I usually like to use rounded out shapes for this type of stuff. And then you're just gonna grab yourself a circle, as you saw. Once it's in here, you're just gonna resize it. Now, if you're having trouble resizing stuff, like if you see on the screen, this is just gonna move it around, okay? And then this is how you're gonna move it. Now, if I were to do it this way, you see how it like elongates it? I kind of don't like that. So I think it looks wonky. Now, if it's just for one of these, you're gonna be fine. All right, so I've got my first offset together. I'm going to highlight this. I'm going to hit Unite, and everything should be copacetic now. It's still set to a basic cut. If there were any holes in this design or in this offset, this would be highlighted, all right? So now, once you're done with that, you're gonna wanna set it to the back, because if you don't, as you can see, so we're gonna go ahead and arrange send to back. It's a lot like creating stickers. I'm gonna be honest with you. You know, it's kind of cool and easy. All right, so now I did say I was gonna make this a 3-layer decal, so we're gonna go ahead and go into offset once again, and then I'm just gonna make it a bit bigger. All right, a little bit more, a little bit more. All right, that's perfect. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna hit apply. Now, as you can see, there are some holes in here. I don't want holes. If you like that, that's perfectly fine. Me personally, I don't think they look good when you're doing a decal like that. It just needs to be, you need to see all of your colors. Now, it really honestly depends. It really honestly depends. I'm sorry, I was looking at my phone. It really honestly depends on your taste. So, what I also like to do, right, is at this point, I'm going to say that I'm going to grab this first color and probably do something like holographic. So I'm going to put like a silver, right? The next one I'm going to do is going to be like a blue. And then the last offset is going to be probably like a lighter. It's, you know what? We're going to go the other way around. So we're going to do this one a lighter blue. Now, these are not the blues that I'm going to use. I'm going to be using some different blues and some different stuff. So you'll see it once it's done. But we've got our first name decal all set. So once that's all set, I usually just hit center, I group it, and then I hide it. All right, let's get into our next one. It won't be so long, I promise. Let's go. All right, so we now have our next decal or text that we're going to turn into a decal on the screen. And I wanted to talk about one of the features here in Cricut Design Space that you have to have access for. I am an Access member, and I do tell people a lot of times that Access is really worth it if you don't want to use too many of these other applications or programs like Canva or Procreate. You can do a lot of things in here. Sometimes I've created my own sticker sheets in Design Space, so it's really possible to do all of these things. All right, so we've got our warp tool. And we're going to go ahead and click on number 16 at a 70, all right? And it has done that. Now, I want to kick this decal up another notch, all right? I want to separate it from all of the other name decals that I see out there. And since this is kind of like a funky or groovy type font, I'm going to go ahead and come in here to Images, and I'm going to type in Daisy. I've already done this, as you can tell. All right, and I'm going to look for a cutesy type of like Daisy. Okay, so let's see if I can find this. All right, so I had found that one already, and I really liked it. So we're going to go ahead and bring that into the canvas. All right, as you can see here, this is going to be a little itsy bits of work. Now there is a different one I did see, but I could not find it for the life of me. So I'm just going to go ahead and duplicate this. All right. And then with this one, I'm just going to hide all contours. Okay. With this one, I'm going to hit the contour button, hide all contours, just bring that up, hit that one, and now I just have the circle. No, the colors right now don't matter. Let's see. We're just gonna do like a purple, and then we're gonna do like a darker purple in the inside, just for giggles right now, giggles. And I'm gonna bring that one to the front. We're gonna kind of like arrange that a little bit. So we're gonna align this and center it. So that's kind of centered right there. So we're gonna go ahead and bring those together. Now you don't want to flatten because you're going to be doing this as a basic cut. All right, whew, this is going to be, I think we're going to have a lot of fun with this. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate it. Okay, I'm going to bring it over here. You can kind of see where I'm going with this, right? Okay, so we're going to bring this down a little bit. I probably say about here, just enough to fit in without touching, like that, right? And then we're going to bring this one down a little bit. And it's okay if they're different sizes. Like, they don't have to be the same size at all. And they don't even have to be facing the same way. It's whatever you feel or whatever you like. So again, I'm just going to take that one and turn it a little bit. I kind of like that. Like that. I'm going to get it a little bit eensy-weensy bit closer. All right. Okay, so as you can see, I have a really cute beginnings of a name decal. All right, so the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to figure out whether or not I'm going to want to have a lighter color or darker color. We'll decide that once we go to pick our vinyl. But for right now, just because, I'm going to go ahead and click on that one. All right. Now, the next thing that we're going to do, and I'm probably going to change the color of the flowers. I'm going to tell you why in a bit. All right, so we've got offset, right? Remember what we just spoke about. So we are going to take this. Let's group it together. We're going to make it a bit smaller. Let's bring it down to about 4 like we were discussing. Okay. We hit 14. All right, 4. All right, so now that we've got our 4, we're going to go ahead and go with this, and we're just going to move it slightly. I want to give it, like, I want the top of the letters to be touching ever so slightly, so that way I don't have to do much of a repair. All right, so now that it's like that on the screen, as you can see up here, these are kind of like all touching, and then we have like certain little holes in it. We're going to go ahead and we're going to hit apply. Once we've done that, you're going to want to come down to contour because this one has a really small hole. So let's say we just wanted to hide this hole and we wanted to leave like all of the the other holes open, right? As you can see, like that. You can do something like that. Me personally, when it's like the back of the design, I like to have it whole, okay? So as you can see here, we've got our first design. I can always change this to like a white or a pretty reflective. I could even find like a really cute purple that I already have in my shop. Like I can maybe go like 3 different purples, as you can see, something like that. I'm thinking I might do the flowers white. I think those will look a lot better. So let's go ahead and come in here real quick. Let's change this portion, and I'll show you exactly how to do this on the opposite side. All right. So what you're gonna do once you had highlighted everything is you're gonna go ahead and click on this little button right here. And then you're just gonna hit the same buttons for the other 2, and then you're gonna just grab your flower that you wanna change the color of. And then you're just gonna wanna do like that. So again, I'm probably gonna mess this up and put it a whole different way. But for right now, we've got our first little design. I think it's cute. Let's go ahead and group everything and get into the next one. All right, so this is gonna be another decal that we're doing. So I've got another pretty name in here. Now there is a method to my madness on doing all of these decals. I'm gonna show you something in the end. It's gonna link hopefully into the next video that I'm gonna be doing. But all right, let's get into this decal. So again, this is another reason why I do support being an Access member. You're gonna see why in a moment. So there is a reason why I chose this. I know somebody, this young lady really likes a certain dolly from her childhood. And can you guess which one it is? Let me know in the comments if just by simply seeing this, you knew automatically what it is. All right, so I wouldn't be Maria Help Me Make It without showing you another tip. As you can see in some of my videos, I changed the color of the background in on my canvas so things are easier for you to see. Now, we're gonna do just that. We are gonna go ahead and show you a really quick trick. So the first thing that I do to get rid of these lines, right, is I click in this little circle here, this little box, because that's definitely not a circle. Oop. All right, now if I wanted to change the color of my canvas, this changed a while ago and it really broke my brain. You're gonna click on your black canvas down here on your blank, and then you're gonna come up here to color. All right, now once you do that, you can select whatever color you want. Just for color contrast, we're gonna choose this one. All right, so have you guessed what this is? What I'm emulating here? All right, so this is another hint. All right, now I'm really concerned with this. I'm wondering if these are gonna look jagged. Well, I guess we're gonna find out, right? All right, so as you know, we're going to bring this down to a 4. As we did in the other ones, we're gonna set our offset. We're gonna make it just a tiny bit smaller, not too big, not too big. We don't want like the whole thing. I think that looks awesome. So we are going to go ahead and click apply. Now again, you wanna make sure you check down here and you check up here. If it's set as a basic cut and this is not highlighted, you have no holes in your offset. If it is highlighted, click on it, and as you can see, there's gonna be a really small hole. You're gonna hide that. All right, the next hint I'm gonna give you about what this name decal is gonna be coming up with this color. Like, I need to know if you guys are kind of like knowing what I'm talking about here. You guys getting it? You guys know what I'm talking about? Can you see it? Can you see it? Can you see it? If you haven't guessed it yet, it's Barbie. She really likes Barbie. So I wanted to go ahead and set up something like this for her. Now, you know what? I just came up with a really good idea. So give me a second. I'm going to pull back out of here and then I'm going to show you exactly what I'm talking about. Let's get right back into it. Okay, so I cannot do something really cute for one of my friend's daughters and not do something really cute for the other one. So we're gonna go ahead and get rid of our offset. Okay, and we just did that by dragging on it and just pressing delete, or you can always highlight it and then hit this button up here. All right, so once again, we're gonna come up here to images and we're gonna look for a heart. Not hearty, but heart. All right, and we're just gonna find like a really cute heart. And you know what? I really kind of like, you know what? We're gonna do this one. I like this one by the Rabbit Studio. Let's go ahead and add that to canvas. All right, so once that's done, I'm gonna see if let me looky. I think that's gonna be like the best one I like for this project. Like seriously, you know what? And that one, we're gonna add this one. All right, so let's go ahead and go back to our canvas. And if this happens to you, just go ahead and click on this little button here. All right, now we're gonna bring these back down to about a 3. Oh Lord, what happened? All right, okay. Whew, design space sometimes. All right, so if you look up here, this is unlocked. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go back 1. All right, and then we're just gonna highlight this, and we're gonna bring this to about a 2. All right, now there's 2 reasons why I chose these right here. Now the first one is, let's see if I like the way this looks with this. I think it's gonna look rather cute. Honestly, I think it's gonna look rather cute. Well, let's check it out. Maybe a little bit smaller. A tiny bit. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Maybe a little bit smaller, maybe a little bit smaller. All right, there you go. I think that's gonna kind of look cute. What do you guys think? No? Maybe yes? I think it looks cute, so we're gonna leave it. All right, so we're gonna get rid of that one. And we are going to just duplicate this one. I'm gonna hit flip this way. And we're just gonna kind of stick this little heart right in there like that. I think that looks really rather cute, okay? Now, remember, we're gonna be doing that cute offset. Ooh, all right. I just came up with an even better idea. All right, this is gonna be nutty. Are you guys ready? So we're gonna bring this up here bigger, and we're gonna duplicate it, okay? We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna change the colors of these. I'm gonna change this one to a white, and I'm gonna kind of do something like that, okay? We are going to hit align and center. I'm gonna group it. You don't want to flatten it because you're going to be basic cutting these. So you kind of want them to stay the same, all right? Now, I'm going to bring that back to where we had it, right? I'm going to bring it up a little bit because that's not kind of lined up. And then we are going to get rid of this one. You know what? Let's just duplicate this one. We'll just do that. So we've duplicated it. We are going to flip it horizontally, as you can see. And then we're just going to drag it over here. And then this other basic heart, you're just going to highlight on it and you're going to get rid of it. So you know more or less where you had your other heart. And this one's a little bit bigger, so you're going to want to mess around with it and you don't want it exactly touching. All right, I'm going to move this one a little bit more. All right, so as you can see, it's not going to be black. Those hearts will absolutely not be black. Now we're gonna come and we're gonna group these together, all right? We're gonna hit width and we're gonna go to about 4. Once we've got a 4, we're gonna go ahead and apply our offset. And let's move this over here so we can actually see it. Hit offset and we're gonna come down a bit, just like we were doing before, because we wanna give this a little bit of a shape to it, right? We want it to look kind of good. All right, so that's where we had it before. We're gonna go ahead and click apply. Once again, don't forget to contour. That would have had 2 holes, right? And then we'll change that to that bright pink that we had it before. Now, I'm only selecting pink because I'm showing you more or less like what colors I'm going to be using for these decals. So again, I'm going to be changing out the hearts. So the colors, oopsies. So the colors will be a little bit different. So it'll probably be like if I had to, let's group these together. All right, so if I were gonna do this, the outer portion of the heart would probably be white, and this is gonna be pink. Same thing with this one, and then everything else will stay the same. All right, so let's get into cutting. I'm gonna spare you the drama of having to watch me cut and explain. I will go over just a few things like the cuts and stuff like that. All right, let's get into it. All right, so one of the next few videos that I'm going to be making is going to be talking all about how to prepare or like how to make decals to sell, right? So one of the things I wanted to show you if you're looking into getting or making name decals is going to be the size difference. Now, whenever you're going to be making decals to sell, especially if they're names, you're going to want to go by the width, which means that will be the length or how wide something is, right? So if you take a look at this one, it seems like it's bigger than all of the rest, but it's still 4 inches and it ends up coming out to a 1.877. So that's 4 inches by 1.8 inches. This one's 4 by 1.4 inch, and this one's 4 by 1.3. The longer the name that you have, the shorter or smaller that the decal is going to be. So usually what I'll do is I'll have something like this. I'll take a screenshot of this, or I'll type here, whatever information I may want to get out, and I'll just add that as part of my listing, and then I'll crop out all of the rest of the screen. As you can see, it helps saves me some time. All right, but that's going to be for another video. Let's get into making these.
All right, so one of the most important things I have in my arsenal is this right here. This is my color swatch from 143 Vinyl. This, like I said, I worked with vinyl for many years, and sometimes when I'm working with someone, they're not sure what colors they like, so I kind of bring this in. I actually just ordered a specialty vinyl one as well, so if you guys are interested, I'll link in the description this color swatch and some of the vinyls that I used in today's project. But all right, let's go into the next part of the video.
All right, so pay attention because these are going to be 2 tips that you definitely want to know about. Now, before you go ahead and cut any of your vinyl, you do have the option to edit things on your mats. So for instance, as you can see here, we're going to be wasting about 4 inches of vinyl. Now, did you know that you can literally take this circle and move it over here and do the same with this one, and now this area over here would have been all empty vinyl. Now we've got our name decal as well as the little circle parts of the daisy, and I think that's important because I like to save as much as I can. These are, even if they're not a scrap and it's a full thing, I want to use as much as I can. Now, the second part that I wanted to go into is SnapMat. So, unfortunately, SnapMat is only available to people who have iPhones. Now, I do have an iPhone, and I've tried a million times. I don't like to have too many apps on my phone. I just don't. Games, yes. Apps, no. I don't get it, All right, so what you can do is, if you guys are interested in learning how to kind of bypass that, even if you don't have an iPhone, I have a way that I can show you how to do it. Now, keep in mind that this will only work with type-wise of vinyl. So if you have an opal vinyl as well as a permanent vinyl and a holographic, one of them may not be cut correctly, but if you're cutting the same type of vinyl, this can really help. So if you guys are interested in learning that, go ahead and type "help me" in the comments and I'll make that video for you guys. All right, so moving on, let's get to cutting.
All right, so I don't feel comfortable not showing you guys at least a little bit of each and every video, just the tips that I have. All right, so if you're going to be cutting vinyl, right, one of the most important things is going to be a brayer. As you can see, this mat is a little old and stuff like that. So if you're just going to try to get this down and on here, it's still going to be kind of a no-go. So one of these, it's a brayer. You can get these on Amazon, okay? You just go ahead and roll. You can add some pressure and get it on there really nicely. Depending on certain situations, since this mat is old, I will go in different ways. And as you can see, you can kind of see the mat on here a little bit. All right, so that's my tip. Let's get into cutting. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and explain a few things with you. Now, as you can see here, this is an opal vinyl and it's lifting up just fine, as you can see, but sometimes you may run into some issues when you are working with these. Foils can be also notorious for that, so I would just be mindful of that. All right, I'm gonna try to pull this down a little bit, so please bear with me. I'm gonna try not to get my face in the screen. I tend to do that sometimes. All right, so I am quite used to doing these already. I've been doing these for so long that I can kind of just get them on without an issue. All right, so the reason why I'm recording this portion and talking to you guys about it is because I wanted to show you, you know, you see how it's not coming off? See? So it's really simple. A lot of people will say, you know, you need strong grip for that. No. The transfer tape that I use is perfectly fine. You just have to know how to finagle, all right? And what I'm also, as you can see, like the back of this is like a metallic. This, I know Tech Wrap has a new vinyl that they've come out with. They call it their bubble free. All it is this type of stuff here. I've got to take a look and see how much they're charging, because I get mine from 143 Vinyl. I love that place. So I'm pretty sure 143 Vinyl has these for, you know, a lot less than Tech Wrap would. And, you know, you can actually get sheets instead of your rolls. All right, so as you can see, got a pretty nice decal. There are no bubbles. All right, let's move on to the next one. I'm not going to talk on the next ones. All right, let's go. All right, guys. Well, as you can see, this one right here is our single layer decal. Let's go into Samantha's name. So yeah, this one's really pretty. That pink. My hands shake a little bit sometimes. I think it's a bad day for me today. So as you can see, you've got like the pink and like it's like a hot pink. I can't describe it. It's just gorgeous. Okay, it's just really gorgeous. All right, and then you've got this one, the Aria. I think the Aria is like my favorite. As you can tell as I'm moving around, it's just like gorgeous colors. I love messing around with my opal vinyl. Like this one is like a blue and like a purple, as you can see. Like it's just gorgeous. All right, well, thank you so much for watching. If you guys haven't already, be sure to subscribe. Thank you so much. Like and share this video. Check the description for all of the info. And if you have any questions about fonts or where I get my vinyl or whatnot, just let me know in the comments. I'll be happy to let you know. Also, these are not prepped just yet. They do need transfer tape. I am going to be making another video that's going to be talking all about how to make and prep decals for sale. So be on the lookout for that one. So again, hit that bell. That way you never miss a video. Thanks so much. Bye.